let's get to work. So starting with item number 3, City Manager, would you like to begin?
Thank you, Chair, council members, and members of the community that are listening. It is an honor to be in front of this newly formed committee. And as I echo Councilmember Harper Madison's points, this is where we really want to get to work. And the voices from the community and the actions that the council led with last Thursday are very loud. And we want to make sure that we are taking immediate and direct action to implement those resolutions. Yesterday, I sent a memo talking about some of the changes that we will be seeing within the city management, and I'm going to highlight a few of those, but per this item on the agenda, I want to focus on the budget impacts of fiscal year 2021. But I'll start out with just saying that, as a community, as a country, as a world, is really re-examining what public safety means for us as a community, for us as a society. I am so proud of the city of Austin for leaning into that. And so just as we've heard the demands and cries of our community, we are doing our best to ensure that we are organizing ourselves to be responsive and approach this in a way that is reflective of what that community needs are. And so I have outlined in the memo I sent yesterday that I am looking at a core leadership team within the city manager's office that will consist of our Deputy City Manager, Nuria Rivera-Vandermine, our Assistant City Manager, Chris Shorter, and our Assistant City Manager, Ray Ariano. These 3 individuals will be working collaboratively with our Office of Police Oversight, the Equity Office, our Innovation Team, the Police Department, Legal, so many of the folks that need to be at the table to really reimagine and redefine how we think about public safety in the future. But most importantly, not only hearing your clear direction from council, but hearing from our community. How do we want to look at what that future of public safety looks like? As you know, a core function of city government is to keep our community safe. But that means so many different things, and we have to think differently, boldly, and strongly about how to ensure that we are looking creatively of what that safety is for each individual in our community. I'm excited about that. I think it's exactly the work that we are set out to do, and we are all committed to leaning into it in a very proactive way. That will have, based on the resolutions that were passed last Thursday, impacts on how we are presenting the city manager's budget in July next month. Some of those were outlined in the proposal of the memo that I sent, and I want to go through a few of those. Clearly, the need for thinking differently about what public safety is will require an imagination that is different than what we've seen in the past. We need to pick apart the different pieces that have traditionally been asked of our public safety officers and make sure that we are specializing those for the unique set of circumstances that each one is equipped to handle. We want to make sure that we have more emphasis on mental health services, more emphasis on ensuring that as we get a call that the right person is going out to receive the feedback and the information to respond to that call. These are very important conversations to have, but frankly, they won't be done in the next week before we are finalizing our budget in passage. So what I've done, as I outlined in the memo, is really take some of those areas, and I will appreciate your feedback and additional guidance on what are those pieces of the budget within the Department of Police that can be thought of differently. All options need to be on the table, and we need to have a collective discussion around them. There will be legal and contractual challenges and opportunities as a result of that, but I'm confident that we'll work through those in a productive and collaborative way with many of our key stakeholders. It will take all of us collectively to move forward to realize these changes and get them implemented, which is exactly what this committee wants to do. Some of those I highlighted, like the forensic unit, our call dispatch system, victim service counselors, all those are things that need to be discussed over the course of the coming months. And I am committed to ensuring that we have the right stakeholders and the leadership of this, not only council, but this public safety committee to think differently about what those services might look like in the future. Austin will lead on this. We will be innovators in the country on how we think about public safety in a new and a reimagined way, and I'm excited about that prospect. I also mentioned, per the council direction, that the elimination of about 100 positions would also be in this proposed budget. These are positions that were either forecasted to be in the budget, like 30 officers that we had in a resolution that was passed by council in 2018 on the staffing plan. Those are no longer in this proposed budget per the direction that we received last Thursday. In addition, the direction from last Thursday talked about unfilled vacancies that wouldn't be able to be filled within this year. And we have estimated with the department a little over 60, 65-ish that we will be now eliminating, but providing that opportunity for thinking differently about how those positions and how that funding could be seen in other areas. The council was very direct in looking at some of those areas. And so through this committee and in the course of the coming weeks and months, we will be talking about where those funds could be diverted. Many of the great options that were provided by the council are certainly top of mind, but there might be others as we continue to hear from community members on what that future resourcing might look like. And then finally, we're talking about the Cadet Academy. And I really think that some of the work that is on how we train and recruit future officers is a critical component of this. I'm going to ask ACM Ariano to walk through the progress that we've made on the resolution, what's called Resolution 66 from last December. And I know that we will continue to make that